Okay, so time for the trigger box. So I'm going to go over here off to the side, scale this down, and raise it up a little. And I'm actually going to go ahead and copy the transform values here, or for the location I should say. So right click, copy. Now I'm going to put a box trigger into here, so I'll do BOX, trigger, drop in the scene, and then I'm going to right click over here and paste it for the location, just so it's centered. And that looks okay, but I'm going to shrink it down just a little bit to 0.75. Yeah, that looks a lot better. And then I'm just going to go over here on the right, blueprint, and we're going to make a new blueprint. I'm going to call it BP button trigger. So for this, oops, it's really hard to do this with this tripod in the way. Come on. Okay, there we go. So now that you have this up, we go ahead, right click, or just go to event graph. It's already here, actor begin overlap. So we're going to want that, and we're going to want actor end overlap as well. So actor end overlap. There we go. So let's see, when the laser pointer overlaps it, we want the laser pointer to be visible. So let's see if it's the laser pointer. So let's see, other actor. Give me 1 second. Let's see, how did I do this in this project? Ah, yes. So we're going to do, once it's overlapped, get all actors of class. And here's the interesting thing. We're going to go with motion controller. Pawn. Motion controller pawn. So, because this is a single player game, it's only going to return one thing. That's me. So, if it's me, oh, I have to actually get that pawn. And now off the pawn if it's me and if it's the right controller. So get right controller. Move the branch over a bit more. Oh, that's literally it. Okay. So I was second guessing myself, but no, I was doing it the right way. So if the actor that is overlapping the trigger box is the right controller, then we want to get the pointer let's see, pointer, P-O-I-N-T-E. There, get pointer. And we want to set the visibility to true. And I'm just going to have to drag this off of set visibility. And then if it's anything that's overlapping it that's not the pointer of the right controller, it's not going to do anything. So then on actor end overlap, we just simply drag that over to set visibility and leave this here as false. And you do have to drag this pin down to here. So So that should be it for the trigger box. I'm going to go ahead and test that in a second. Okay, so now to test it. Where is it? Oh, it's all the way over there. Oh, so there, when it's overlapping the button, so the trigger is not working yet. Ah yes, embarrassingly enough, I think I know what the issue here is. So, in the motion controller, yes, I forgot to add the trigger box to the non-ignore actors. So, there we go, BP button trigger. Let's add it to that, compile, save, and now theoretically, in theory, when it's overlapped, okay. Well, if the headset ever wants to, there we go. So, there you go. As you can see, this here is now, you can see the laser, and it overlaps that. So I'm going to actually make that pointer a little bit longer, because it should be able to reach pretty much anywhere in the game. So just go back to motion controller and make the scale a bit bigger. It's the wrong project. So motion controller, pointer, scale, let's make it 500. And there you go. Okay, so we want this trigger box to spawn around the restart button when we go ahead and spawn the restart button when the game is paused. So when we go back to the level blueprint right here, okay, so after we spawn the exit button and the restart button, we're also going to want to spawn that trigger. And when we do, we're going to want to add that as well to the actor array of things to delete. So it's got the same transform values, which is perfect. So then this here just goes to BP button trigger. Copy, paste, link it, compile, save. So now, when I hit the pause button, it should spawn restart button and the exit button. And when I get near it, the trigger, oh, there we go. So it's working on that one. As you can see, I need to make the trigger box a little bit bigger. And for some reason, it's not working on that one, so I'll get that working right now. Okay, so because I shrunk the trigger before, you just want to put this scale to the 111. It's just the default. Oops. So I'll get that one, the laser pointer, working with that in a minute. So this one right here, though, as you can see, it starts in the menu when it first spawns, it starts highlighted. That's because it's constantly interacting with the trigger box. Like, it detects the collision because the trigger box was spawned technically after that was spawned. So, to fix that, problem with the highlighting, we're going to go into button exit. Going to drag this back a little bit and just do a branch and say if this actor here has a tag of trigger, then you don't want to do anything. You don't want it to go ahead and highlight if it's false. If it's anything but the trigger, then go ahead and highlight it. So by doing that, then we have to go to the button trigger blueprint and make sure that you click on this, the topmost one, BP button trigger self, it should say next to it, and then scroll all the way down on the right. And underneath actor, if you expand that category, it says tags. We're just going to add a tag here. Make sure to spell it the exact same way it's spelled in the exit button here. So capital T, lowercase R-I-G-G-E-R. So you just want to make sure that it's the same exact spelling. T-R-I-G-G. And then, of course, just copy these two from the exit button and put it in the restart button. Compile and save everything. So there you go. By default, they are no longer highlighted when spawned. Okay, so right there is the entire reason it's not interacting. It's not lighting up around the restart button, because I copied and pasted from here. And this location is the same as this one. So we actually have to spawn it, instead of spawning them both in the exact same place, let's spawn the second one around the restart button. So I'm just changing the middle one here to -215, compile, save. And now when we test it, it should light up when I overlap near the restart button. And that one, oh, I think it's maybe interacting with the snowman there, but there we are. Yay! So I have to move it a little bit. Oh, no. There we go. I just have to connect that pin. There we go. Yeah, just got to make sure you connect the pins. Make sure you take your time with the blueprints and don't blaze through them like me.